Hello. We're going to go back in time just a little bit more. Yesterday, the game we played was released in 1982. Today, 1981. And unlike Black Widow, I actually did play this growing up, and I quite enjoyed it. Not that I'm the best at it, but it's still an enjoyable game to kind of relax with after a day of school or work now. But the game does get pretty hectic, faster than you might think. And I'm not quite good enough to focus only on the head of the centipedes to get the highest score possible. I have a bit of a Space Invader situation here. But unlike in Space Invaders, the heads just simply start climbing up again if they reach the bottom. And sometimes you can kind of hide behind a mushroom and play defensively, but not for very long. And the spiders I'm very timid with. I'm okay getting a lower score so long as I survive the encounter. One thing I think is super cool about this game is every time you beat a level, I guess you can call it a hue sort of the entire game changes. Rats. I believe you get an extra life at 15,000. We may see that, but maybe... Oh, 12, okay. It's been a while. But I still enjoy this game quite a bit. Any pretend skillful juking is intentionally an accident. And sometimes I get a little lucky. And I try to shoot as close to a mushroom as I can, because when your shots interact with something, you can fire again quicker. Which is, I believe, one of the best ways to deal with the flea, which is that creature that drops and places mushrooms in its path. Did I already beat the high score? Nice. Of course, it's not the world record, but I have to watch out for that spider. I didn't trust it. But at least the record so far. I have one more, right? No, I don't. There's no back button, so maybe if I'm lucky I'll beat that score and replace it with something better. A more accurate spelling of my name. What can you do, right? Okay, I tend to be focusing more on mushroom cleanup on the earlier levels, because things can get out of hand if you're not careful. And the centipede can make a beeline right for you. And so far things are still okay. And I tend to focus more on the mushrooms closest to the bottom and shoot my way back up. Unless you miss by a mile, but that's okay too. So far this is okay. I may not be talking quite as much as I did in Black Widow, but this game is pretty fast paced and... Oh, I'm watching very closely for those sneak attacking spiders. And just like with Black Widow, there is a recharged version of this game as well, that I think is super cool. And there's a scorpion. I don't think I can get there. Nope. Ah, ran into the spider there. Rats. But After losing a life, all the poison mushrooms, which if a centipede touches, just does a major beeline right for you. Well, I'd say right for you, but it goes in basically the vertical direction that it's in and just goes straight down. So if you lose a life, the poison mushrooms become, I guess you can call it cured maybe? And then they're not quite as mean as they were. This is, I believe, one of the first games I played that I can kind of, just by listening, tell what's going on, which enemy's coming next, so I can know what to prepare for, or not prepare for, and kind of deal with as it comes. But that is one of the things that fascinated me about early games. They could, there's that beeline I was talking about, they can tell, or they can give tells based on the sound, so you can see what's about to approach. And I thought that was super cool. That was an okay run, I guess. Having to be very careful with my name, because I don't want to misspell it twice in a row. And then when things get a little slow, it takes a bit to get acclimated, at least for me it does. If you're used to the creatures moving a little quicker. Another thing that I thought was pretty cool about this game is that one of the designers was female, actually. And they wanted to release a game that both males and females would enjoy. And they did a fantastic job, in my opinion. And it didn't have to be one of the patronizing games that we saw a lot of later on. Rats. Like no Barbie's Horse Adventures or Princess Polly Dress Up or anything like that. Nope. Just a fast, precise shooting game. I quickly got out of hand. In a fun way. Sometimes the poison mushroom works in your favor, because if you can get under the centipede, it tends to be coming at you head first, so you can get the much higher valued centipede heads as opposed to the body. Which is only about worth 1/10 of what the centipede heads are worth. And the thing about the spiders, and why there's a question mark by its name, or by its icon I should say, is because the closer you are to the spider when you shoot it, the more points it's worth. So high risk, high reward. Or if you're like me, just hope for the best and get what you get. And sometimes run into the spider, because that's what it's there for. I almost did the same thing again. Did you see that? See, unlike with Black Widow, so far, the scores have been pretty close to the same general area. Which I'm pretty happy with, to be honest. Because I don't always play this. Can you call it consistency? Or consistently, I should say. Usually that's said if you're doing really well, and I guess I'm kind of doing okay. Which is cool with me. I don't typically play for the leaderboard. I just play games for the fun of them. And sometimes I'm surprised if things go well. Because if games get a little too focused on score or competitiveness, I don't know, to me it kind of takes the fun out of the game, you know? You don't want it to become like a job or anything. I don't anyway. Because although people can make a career out of it, and of course I'm happy for the people who did, I just don't want the fun taken out of it, you know? And I know a lot of the people who stream and do this professionally, play different games, and that's cool. That's probably the best way to go about it, in my opinion. I don't want to feel compelled to play a certain number of hours a day or a certain schedule and just be held to that, you know? Sometimes things happen. And it's important to be, I guess you could say, gentle with yourself. If you're not quite able to hit the goals or metrics that you're looking for, or that you promise for yourself, things happen. Ah, that beeline surprised me. Ah well. The poison mushrooms are gone. And then you dive bomb the spider. That's happened pretty consistently as well, so I guess there are some patterns to the way I play. And that's cool. We're not exactly going for the world record. This is just a showcase of the game itself. How it plays. Because I can imagine many of you have played this already. It's starting to get a little embarrassing there. I just couldn't hit that silly centipede, could I? I think about the fleas. If I recall correctly, it actually takes 2 shots to fell one. And they are worth a decent amount of points, but it's a little tricky as well. Unless you can line them up with a mushroom. Because the mushrooms help you fire faster and deal with faster and trickier targets. Because even if you hit the flea once, that won't destroy it. And it'll continue its downward path to possibly slam into you. I just love how the entire colors of the stage changes every time you complete a level. I think that's cool. Just trying to play too carefully there. Score isn't quite high enough for an extra life yet. And the spider is already on fast mode. At that moment I was trying to... Well, I was torn between killing the flea and trying to stay safe. I'm not sure I can get that scorpion in time. No, that's okay though, because centipedes are down here closer to my level, so they can't quite reach those poison mushrooms. I'm not entirely sure I like the rows of poisons that you were releasing. Yeah. Alright, let's try one more. In this game, you can kind of tell what each creature is going to do just by watching, but I always see the spiders as a bit more frantic because sometimes they go more to the left, sometimes they stay on the same horizontal plane and focus more on just moving up and down. So I can't really tell where they're going to go. So I'm kind of satisfied regardless of where I shoot them, as long as it falls and I don't. This was originally a trackball arcade game, and I don't have one of those for the Atari VCS, but the controller tends to do well enough in a pinch. I can't really blame the controller for any mistakes that I make. But I also don't really enjoy blaming things for errors that I make in a game either. Because if you do that, how do you grow? How do you become a better player? If you've got an excuse for everything, you don't see any real reason to improve. I guess some people might enjoy that. I never understood it. But I'm also not the kind of gamer that gets upset when something goes wrong either. Because gaming is meant to be enjoyed. And I don't think you can enjoy something if you're yelling at it the whole time, right? I don't think so. So, even when that happens, probably should have been a little more prepared. But my videos are pretty chill, because I think that's how gaming should be. And if you learn something while you play, so much the better. If not, every credit's another chance to get better, right? See what you can do better next time. Try not to do that. Wait, that spider and I were playing a game of chicken, weren't we? I'm not quite doing as well as I did when I first started, but that's okay too. Because I guess I'd say the overall goal for these videos is to show how, well, in my opinion, how fun these games are, and see if anyone else might enjoy them as much as me, or if you haven't played these older games, how fun they were too. I mean, I've played plenty of newer games as well, and while they're cool graphically, there are some things about them that I don't quite care for. One of which is how long it tends to take for a game to get fun or good, as some people call it. That I never understood. Because if you have to wait for a game to be fun or good, that's poor design in my opinion. But the thing about arcade games like these is you can tell right away if a game is going to be fun or not. And then it becomes a test of your skill and abilities when the game gets more intense and quicker. In games like this. Oh. That was another good run. That's close to my best. At least on this recording. Let's try one more time, and then we'll move on to Recharged. And there are some major changes to Recharged compared to the original as well, which we'll go into when I start that game. That was risky. A couple more misses and Centipede probably would have been on my level. Okay, still doing pretty good keeping the mushrooms up where they need to be. It almost looked like that flea ate the spider there, didn't it? If only, that would be nice. but you can't always get what you want. But if you try, sometimes you just might find you shoot the centipede right in the head. That's the optimal approach. But I don't care quite so much about accuracy. The trick, of course, is to... Well, for me, I tend to focus more on the centipedes and the spiders. If I kill a spider, cool, but I try very hard not to sweep underneath them to try for a 900. Although that is a good way to get a high score. I'm going to keep this here intentionally. Rats! The plan was to keep the mushroom there as a shield, but that didn't quite work out, did it? Oh well, my heart was in the right place. This is a cool color scheme. I like this one. Get out of here, scorpion. Okay, I should not focus on the scorpion. The scorpion wasn't on my level, the centipede was. Lucky mushroom there, that's a good placement. And the thing you have to watch out for too is if you hit a centipede, of course it becomes a mushroom. And what happens to a centipede when it touches a mushroom? It goes down or up a level. So one thing you have to watch very closely is if you shoot a centipede, it may quickly come up or down to the level you're at and slam into your ship, making you lose a life. So it's a very delicate balance, especially when the centipedes are down this low. But you can also, I guess you could call it farming. Just leave one or two little centipede segments and then shoot the ones that come from the left too. And get a score that way. Because if the centipede is segmented like this, and all you have are centipede heads, every one of those heads is 100 points, so that's a pretty good deal, right? That's pretty lucky. I was hoping that my last run for this video will be my best so far, and it is. Which I think is super cool. So is it every 12,000 you get an extra life? This is about as far as I'm going to get, to be honest with you, but I'm still really happy with this. And do a little mushroom cleanup. Like, I know that every mushroom you fully destroy, I think, is 1 point, but still. Cleanup is important because if you have too many mushrooms down there at the lower level where your ship is able to fly, you can't be 100% sure you have control over where those little mushrooms, well, centipedes and spiders will be. So, let's switch out of this and go to recharge mode, shall we? Recharged. Just like with Black Widow Recharged, it's a lot flashier, which can be distracting. And turn it down just a little bit. There, I think that should be okay. So, we'll start with Recharge mode, which gives you 1 life. It's a pretty decent showcase as to how the game plays. But I believe you may get higher scores in this one because mushrooms are worth 10 points if you fully clear them here. And I think the spiders give you power-ups too. Yeah, they do. So in this version, you do want to focus spiders. And the little bar there that goes around the edge of the screen, that lets you know how long you have the power up for as well. Had a Dive bomb there. Must have missed a centipede. Well, not a centipede, a scorpion. But yeah, I probably missed a centipede too, but that's okay. This is super helpful, especially when things are getting too close to your little side of the screen. And I cannot cross that red line there to the top either. This is a centipede wave. They're all dive bombing. Well, fleet wave. I'll get the animal name straight eventually, maybe. Maybe I'm playing too passively because now there are too many segments on my side of the field, which I'm not the biggest fan of. That was pretty productive. But unlike in the original arcade game, you kind of want to focus on spiders here for that very reason. Power-ups are very helpful. Rats! And that was another shotgun too. I think that was a 7, the splitter. I wonder if the world is going to show up. Oh, nobody played this version? Rats. That's not good. Let's try this again. And now we have 3 lives. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe, just like the arcade game, you get extra lives every 12,000. And I need to be a bit more aggressive with centipedes too, because I let way too many dive bomb, which did not end very well. I'm going to save that 7 shot if I can, until I run out of this. Okay, cool. If that doesn't go away, that would be perfect. Oh, it's about to. I'm backing up just a little bit when the centipede dive bombs because this fires just a little bit slowly, but it's a great way to deal with mushrooms as well. Hey spider, go away. Dive bombing centipede. I had to focus more on the power up in my opinion. I think that was a better play. I have to get rid of those poison mushrooms. I can't safely get those centipedes from here. Now I can. The side shot is super helpful when things get a little crazy. This is explosive shot. It does, well, you can kind of tell what it does. It's a huge boost to your score and a great way to deal with mushrooms too. And this gives you a little ship on the top too. So you can kind of shoot centipedes from the top down as well, which I thought was a pretty cool power-up idea, to be honest. There's another speed power-up, well, rapid fire I should say. I couldn't get there in time and safely. Okay, so I was mistaken. I definitely didn't get an extra life and I'm at 20,000. That's okay though, this is still a pretty decent score. This one is actually pretty tough. That little laser power up, because although it does pierce all the way from one side to the other, it takes several seconds to actually fire. And in a game that can be fast paced like this, that's not always a good thing. In fact, for me it usually isn't. I don't really have time to focus on mushroom cleanup, do I? Rapid fire is super helpful right about now. Oh, spread shot's even better. And if you pick up one power up, it removes the next one. Or the one you had before, I should say. It replaces it. Can I focus that poison down? Yeah, good. Try to limit the amount of potential the scorpion has to mess up your day. Because at least in this game, while everything moves quite a bit slower, you also have a bit more control, I guess you could say. Until you dive bomb into a spider, which I have done quite a bit in the original too. Oh, great. It's mushroom cleanup time. And I do like how in this version the centipede flashes when you know that it's dive bombing you because of a poison. Oh, cool. I was hoping I'd be able to get that scorpion and centipede at the same time. I'm okay with that. Okay. This isn't the most helpful power-up, but it helps. Especially if everything is down there at the... Oh, wow. That was definitely a scorpion wave, wasn't it? That's rude. I'm not okay with that. Why would you? I don't think I quite enjoy scorpion waves. I can't say I do, to be honest with you. I think I must have gotten an extra life somewhere. I didn't exactly track when, because I'm focused on what's in front of me, not what's above me. I couldn't get them all in time. And that's one of the things you have to watch out for dive bombing centipedes. You can't always fire all of them at once and explode into space. And sometimes you miss a scorpion entirely. This, I believe, puts little bombs on the field, or if you shoot them, that happens. It's a great way to clear mushrooms, if that is your focus. Which right now, believe it or not, is not my focus. My focus is living and trying to get a decent score. If I had this score in the original version, I would be super happy with that, but I don't think it's in the cards. Try to clear as many of those as I can. Another scorpion wave. What's this? Oh, the laser. That's what it does, and you only get one of those. Another? Well, that worked out. Cool. And a flea wave. For some reason, I'm not paying much attention to the fleas right now. Okay, don't know how that's going to help me much in this situation, but I did okay. If I can keep those scorpions there on that side, at least they're not going to be a bother. That's a fear power-up. It does basically what you just saw it do. And I think that's another pretty neat idea for a power-up as well. I had mushrooms too close. I couldn't put much effort in staying right there and playing chicken with a dive bombing centipede. Side. That actually worked. Those side shots definitely came in handy. That was a pretty decent boost to my score as well. Oh, that's cool. I think the game actually slowed down just a little bit there too. Very cool effect. I'm not entirely sure if they put the bombs in the best placement there, but I don't care, it was cool. And if games are cool, that's a good thing. That's my very professional, scientific opinion. The games do cool things equals yes. I'm actually stuck here against this mushroom wall. There we go. Okay, there's a lot of poison mushrooms there. Not that I'm going to intentionally die, but when I do and those get cleaned up, that'll be good. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this run's gone so far. This is most likely a lot easier than the original, but that isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes you just make silly mistakes like that one. Because sometimes you see a really high score and that kind of makes you feel good, you know? Kind of makes you feel pretty great. You're over here rocking at a video game. That's one of the things I find fascinating about the Recharged series. You can tell a lot of the influence from the original, but there are changes as well to modernize the game and make it, well, I don't know if it's better or worse, but different enough that you kind of have to think of the game sometimes in a different way. One of the examples again is a spider, because you definitely want to go out of your way to shoot every spider you can. Can I deal with this one? Yes, that little centipede was too close for comfort. I wasn't 100% sure I can clear all those, but I'm glad I did. Knew I couldn't clear those, I had to back off. Speed up. Still playing carefully, hiding behind this mushroom. Ah. Close, but no candy bar. Because the candy bar has already been eaten. Oh no! So I think I have an extra life after this one, but let's see if we can make it last. That was okay, but I'm not the best at timing or aiming the laser power-up. I'm kind of curious. Let's see where that run put us. 29th is not bad. Not for me, anyway. That's a good score, I think. Well, I did it for Black Widow, so let's check some of the challenges on Centipede. Okay, so level 1 pyramid, 5,000 points. And I guess the gimmick behind this level, of course, is a pyramid of mushrooms. And we're only seeing mini centipedes here. Those little rocks, I don't think you can destroy those. So far, so good. And there's that Ring of Fire power up again. Game set. A nice easy level to start us off with. On to number 2. 45 mushrooms. Okay, so the trick is to get orbiting bullets quickly, I think. And clear as many of these as you can. Yeah, I think that's the plan, but I got a little too reckless there. I think you should use the orbiting bullets to clean up as much as possible. And only deal with the enemies that come to you. I was thinking that if the side bullets hit a mushroom, you would get another shot, but that's not what happened, so I have to be a bit more careful than that. 4, 5. There we go. That was pretty quick, I think. Oh, this is going to be fun. So possibly one way to play the game is to summon as many of the bombs as you can quickly, and then launch them all in a huge explosion like that. And that tends to work pretty well sometimes. Right now, this game is a whole lot of wait for bomb power-ups. I was playing that pretty slowly anyway. I think this is the idea, at least early on. I'm not entirely 100% on that. Those bomb placements. That was just silly. Come on now, wake up. Better. At least I think that's better. Alright, cool. Man, a slowdown is just such a great effect. Need another spider, thank you. All the way up there? That's not a very nice, game. Come on now. Clearing my way to those bombs at the top. So close. So do I need another spider? Oh, it's going to be tough getting to it, but I think we can do it. All the way over there. Ah, rats. Rats, rats. Okay, this one's a little tougher than I thought. But not in a bad way. Let's see if I can wait just a little bit, and I think that may have backfired. Maybe we can make a big wave of explosions. Okay, I lost track of where I was. So definitely don't wait that long is the idea, I think. Because I mistimed that quite a bit. Well, there's one. One centipede down. There's two. Okay, that's not gonna help if the centipedes are dive bombing. What now? Oh, I don't like this one bit. Those scorpions were not nice. I don't appreciate it. I'm making reckless moves here to try to fight my way to the left. Couldn't quite get there. Oh well. I think another try could hurt. No! That centipede was blocking the bombs with his body. I don't appreciate that. I don't want to blow those bombs up just on one bug. That would be a waste. But then again, hitting almost nothing is even worse. Okay, middle, huh? Man, this one's tricky. That's okay, I guess, but I'll have to wait for another centipede. I was wondering if the bomb chain would make it all the way, and it did. Go team. That was really good. Okay, so maybe if the centipede is good. There we go. Cool. That was an okay time, I think, but I'm not gonna look at the record because I'm sure that's a bad time. Okay, this is a scorpion focus level, so I'm not entirely sure what the centipedes can do here. But I kind of get the idea that if they make it here, they will make it to my side of the field and not just my ghost side. I was right. 15, 16, 17. Oh, I just ran out of ghost at the worst time. Rats. 19, 20. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, tricky. So do not shoot the blue, but yeah, 3,500 points. Got it. Did that say don't shoot or don't destroy the poisons? I think it just said don't destroy, but yeah, it just said don't destroy. Still going to have to play a bit careful, especially with rapid fire, because you may shoot them down faster than you think. Bullet trail is pretty neat. That's what happens when you get bullet trail. Well, when I get bullet trail, I should say that's what happens. Again, I did not ask for that. No thank you, game. I kind of can't really tell if it goes all the way or stops firing or what. Bullet trail is interesting. Ghost. Not a good power-up if you're actually trying to shoot things. It's a good getaway power-up, but sometimes you don't want that. Or this. I don't want to be shooting those mushrooms there. Again? Oh, thank you, game. I don't appreciate those. Not in this particular challenge level. I'd rather them come closer so I can shoot them faster. Really? You really want me to get that, don't you, game? I disagree. I disagree very much. Ooh, that was scary. I'm getting there. But then again... There we go, I was about to say, then again, some of the scorpions are starting to make it to the part of the field I don't want them to be. You can, of course, shoot them as they're running back to the top of the screen, too. But it just slows down your progress. Ooh, scary. Rapid fire. I have to make very, very sure that I don't shoot the ones to the side. There we go. Slow, but complete. I could have made that maybe, but I'm still going to play it safe. So you don't have to blow them up. Any way you deal with them is the right way to go. A slowdown just helps in getting under them. bullet trail. That may come in handy. Didn't deal with the fleas very well, but and you can tell where the fleas are going to be by looking at that little bluish light that starts at the top of the screen. It to tell us where the enemies are going to come from. I'm trying to determine if the fleas in this game are as annoying as the fleas in real life. But you deal with them easier in real life though, of course. Wait, did I get that flea in one attack? Yeah. That's interesting. Because in the arcade version it takes 2 attacks. I just realized that. Interesting. More bombs. Well, that accomplished something. The precision wasn't quite there to sneak in and deflee the area. That's okay though. There will always be more. Unfortunately, that's a fact of life. There will always be more fleas. Lasers are a pretty decent way to deal with centipedes if they're dive bombing you, but because the bombs were there, that dealt with them pretty well too. Oh, as soon as I get it, it's gone. Ah well. I'm playing really carefully here. May not be the best idea, but I'd rather that not happen. Well, that was going really slowly anyway. So it couldn't hurt to try again. Side? Not sure how that's going to benefit, but wow, it didn't even help me get to the spider any easier. I'm not sure what that did. But again, no, that's because my aim is not the best. But it doesn't have to be. Watching for those little blue flashes at the very top of the screen. It's not always a flea, of course. Sometimes it is a new centipede. I couldn't get there in time. That one I could. You can make moves in this version that you can't in the original, because the fleas are a little slower and you don't have to get 2 direct attacks on him in this version, which is nice. Again, quite a bit easier, because flea waves on the arcade version can become trouble quickly. I was trying to decide if I wanted the flea or the spider. Turns out I didn't get either. That happens sometimes. The thing about explosive shot is I believe you can only have one on the field at once. So the firepower can sometimes be helpful, but sometimes it can also hurt you. 17. I think I can only have one of these on the field as well. Oh, 35 fleas. I was looking, thinking that I was about done. Not even close. Got 9 more of these pesky little fleas to deal with. Slow down. Definitely helpful. This close to the end. There we go. Slow down to the rescue. Spider invasion. Ooh, a defensive survival level. Some of these are pretty cool. But then again, you also don't want to play too defensively because score is being tracked as well. If you noticed, I'm not really firing right now. So far, I'm just focused on the orbiting bullets. This is just silly. I'm not playing this very defensively at all, am I? But you can never really be sure what you're about to experience with challenge mode, because it tells you something, but then who knows what power-ups you're given. And apparently in this, it's orbiting bullets. This is nowhere near as tricky as I thought so far. But who knows what's going to come in 100 seconds. Well, at 100 seconds, I should say, so I'm being cautiously aggressive right now, but the power-ups are hiding the spiders. That's just silly. And the power-ups do not give you score, so I'm rationing them, which I think is a smart decision. Yeah, I think this is the right way to play. But now that it's almost over, I'll snag as many of these spiders as I can. There we go, that's an okay score, I think. I'm curious. Not that I'm playing for this reason, but I am curious. Oh, really? It's not the best, is it? Alright, I'm gonna play 10 of these challenges, so go back to the beginning. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so Super Centipede is the last one. Okay, so spiders. There's one. And of course, spiders aren't the only pest you have to deal with. Because that would be too easy, wouldn't it? No, things are quickly getting out of hand. I will say good thing for side attack, though. It's coming in handy pretty well, I think. I would like to have a different power-up, but you can't always get what you desire most. I can't repeatedly say you can't always get what you want, because that would become too predictable. Even if you turn around and say it right after. Who knew I was going to say that? And correct it right after. I didn't, until I said it. The funny thing is I'm not really focused on anything other than spiders here. Okay. Oh, this is going to be tough if all I get is a laser power-up. Hopefully not. But so far, yes, that's exactly what's happening. Dive bombing. Pesky centipede. Somehow I just missed the bomb. It's not a somehow, I think we know how that happened. Backing up just a little bit to be safe. Hi, spider. Yeah, that's what you do, I think. Wait for another centipede to come. So I think we're starting to see how the laser power-up can come in handy. But that also doesn't mean that there aren't better ways to deal with them. This is very slow. Not a fan of slow levels, to be honest with you. Hate to say it, but this one's kind of lame so far. But they can't all be winners, I don't think. Quickly get down there and miss entirely. Video games, right? You have things planned out and then you miss. Life can't always be perfect. Sometimes you improvise. And hope it works for the best. That went pretty well. Not even to 4,000 yet. It's rough. Now we're there. But I no longer have that little aisle or funnel of sorts to deal with the scorpions. That went well. Now we wait. That's just rude. I don't appreciate that. That's not a very good scorpion at all. I was kind of banking on things to continue the way they were. There wouldn't be much of a challenge if they did, right? I'm watching you, spider. Bail. Actually, I do appreciate that second chance at the spider, though. That was super cool. Somehow that didn't quite work. Oh no. It went away, too. I was hoping it wouldn't. Explosive. Okay, yeah, I was focusing on the mushrooms there at the end. It's just safer. 100 centipedes. So that, of course, just means segments, it looks like. Oh, this is cool. I like this. It's one super centipede. That is pretty cool. Okay. I've learned a few things. Definitely need to deal with the poisons first. There we go. Okay, this is just fun. Okay, that was a great first start, but that was also really bad because a lot of the centipedes are down here now. And we have to play very carefully. Because they're getting closer than where I want them to be. Success! So, ladies and gentlemen, so what do you think? Centipede Recharged. It's still pretty fun. Nowhere near as tricky as Black Widow Recharged, but fun in its own way. Yes, there are a ton more missions to play as well, but I just wanted to give you a sampler of how the game works. Thank you for watching.